Good morning. Wasn't sure I was going to go live this morning. Woke up about 6 o'clock and felt kind of relaxed, kind of peaceful, kind of quiet. Thought about things, thought about life. Thought about pouring a cup of coffee, what coffee I was going to have, and lo and behold, here I am going live. I'll grab a seat right here. Sit in the sunshine this morning for a little bit and see how you guys are doing. See how I'm doing. See how the gimbal's working. Whoopsie. Let's see, it almost seems slightly askew. Almost seems slightly misplaced. I wonder if it is. With the magnet's on slightly wrong. The other day when I put the magnet on, there was some weird issues. I mean, maybe they weren't that weird of issues. Almost seems slightly askew. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll have to do. Gonna throw me off or make me feel kind of weird or make me uptight. Look at this, we got a little ray of sun shining through. Got lots of rays of sun shining through. So it's gonna be a pretty morning. Had a pretty day yesterday and a rainy day the day before. Look at the sun. It's beautiful. I had my nephew in the last couple days, or somebody was gonna stay last night and wanted to do various things, and I think we were both too tired, and he ended up going home last night at about 7 o'clock. It was probably just as well. I don't know that I had the energy to go out or go to dinner or whatever, and I think we both took a late afternoon nap and kind of threw off our energy levels, and he drove back, and was kind of sad to see him go because it was nice having some company here for a little bit, but he has a life, I have a life, and he needed to take care of some stuff today, so he headed back. But anyway, good morning, good morning. Good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. I don't want to talk about gimbal issues. We've talked enough about gimbal issues. I got a new gimbal ordered or purchased, and I know there's a slight, I'm maybe being OCD, but I think anyone would realize it slightly. The stand for my phone stabilizer is vertical, and the balancer is just shifted off a couple degrees. Kind of has me freaked out a little bit. Doesn't seem quite right. Maybe there's a lesson to learn in it, that life's not quite right, or our interpretation of what right and wrong is always spot on. And life is going to be as life is going to be. And maybe I just need to be okay with the imperfection that is my gimbal and life and things. But it sure would give me a little bit of peace if it just went like a couple degrees straight. So anyway, where was I? Good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is, what day is it? It's Friday morning. It is July 18th. It is 6:39 a.m. Happy Friday morning. This is a little show I've been doing for quite some time. It's a show about me talking, a show about me sharing some feelings, sharing a little bit about the ups and downs we have in life, kind of sharing, I don't know, just sharing an hour, sharing some conversation, having a little bit of coffee in the morning, and seeing where the conversation leads. But for those that have been watching a while, you know it's not just a show about me sharing about life. You know it is also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. Sometimes it gets kind of hot sitting here in the sunshine, but I love how the steam looks wafting from my cup. It's easy to see against my black t-shirt this morning. But anyway, yeah, it's a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me. And I am so excited to take my first sip at this early hour. I made the Starbucks Sumatra this morning. Bought a couple flavored coffees from Dunkin' Donuts the other day. And one hazelnut, one French vanilla. I mean, they're kind of pleasant, but they don't pack the punch that I'm looking for in my coffee these days. So I decided to go with the Sumatra. But anyway, I'm excited to have my first sip. And my hope is wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. Yeah, it's the Starbucks Sumatra. I think most of my life I would have probably preferred the easy drinking flavored hazelnut or French vanilla. But like a lot of things, you acquire a taste over time. And I've certainly acquired a taste for big, strong flavored coffees. It's nice to have this one. So, oh. So it's Thursday morning, or Friday morning. Good morning, Betty Lynn. Oh, there's some guy that, I don't even need to. Where was I? It's Friday morning. And looks like it's gonna be a beautiful day. Had a few days off the last week and it felt really nice. Played golf with a buddy on Tuesday, had my nephew come up Wednesday, and again he went back just last night. And we're back to work today. I need the money, it'll feel good. Working at job number 2. I work 2 jobs right now and I'm transitioning from one to the next, which has been more complicated than I expected. I don't know. But I wanted to make sure I was going to the right place before I left the first one. So anyway, working at job number 2 last night. I'm a little nervous about it because I don't really know what I'm doing there. But I'm still trying my best and work pretty hard and bring a positive attitude. So I think that covers a lot and will take care of a lot of things. At what age did I fall in love with coffee? Do you have one of those fancy stainless steel barista makers? Oh no. I mean, I have a very basic Mr. Coffee. Was like 25 bucks. It's not fancy at all. It's a Mr. Coffee and it's all I need. I don't know why one would need a super fancy coffee maker. I don't even want a clock or programming on my coffee maker, just because, I don't know, it just seems like something that's gonna break. There's something beautifully simple about the one button on my simple Mr. Coffee. And yeah, so no, I don't have a fancy one at all. Somebody just brought up Trump. Yesterday afternoon, Abe and I were sitting here and we were looking out the window and there was a bunch of people with signs out on the street corner walking away. It looked like, I don't know, at first I thought it was like a car wash, but Abe thought it was more of a protest to something. And it turned out he was right because they were leaving something all for a long period of time. And as soon as he was heading off back to go home, he texted me and said it looks like it was a Trump protest. Made me, people have a right to protest and whatever. So, yeah. Betty Lynn was on yesterday, and I've been drinking the Black Rifle coffee occasionally. She bought the Spirit of 76 coffee. She says it has notes of caramel and orange and tastes slightly peppery. She likes it. Betty Lynn, did you get the notes of, I mean, like I would never say something has notes of caramel and whatever, orange or whatever. I mean, it's cool you did, but do you have such a refined taste that you can actually pick the flavors out of the coffee? I mean, after years and years of drinking, I've gotten to the point I can say the Starbucks Sumatra tastes like a regular cup of coffee with some dirt in it, and I like that. But I'm wondering, do you really have such a sensitive palate that you can pick up different baby flavors? And it's cool if you do. Let's see, there's a lot of people, I think, talking about Trump. Or he could be talking about me. What's happening to him is called old age. I don't know, is anything happening to Trump? Am I missing some news story? I mean, other than, I don't know, he's being Trump and he's president. Is anything happening to him? Am I missing something? You think it tasted like tobacco smells? Okay, so you got it. You have somewhat similar palate to me. I was just wondering, I was actually quite impressed that you said it has notes of those flavors or whatever. I was going, wow. You experience a lot with wine aficionados, but I don't know. I guess the more I drink coffee, the more I don't know. I don't know if I distinguish the subtle hints of flavor. You used to drink wine with your grandma. Yeah. Talked about it a little yesterday, and last fall I worked at a wine bar in Naperville, Illinois. The price variation between a bottle of wine from one to the next is amazing. We have people discussing, I don't know if they're spreading rumors or, I don't even know if I want to think about it. Maybe I'll just ignore it. Fred says Trump's condition goes along with his age. Diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency. I mean, is that a problem? Is it a problem when you have chronic venous insufficiency? Do you need a lot of venous in your body to be okay? Chris believes a shot of whiskey each night seems to be the secret to long life. Oh. Good morning, Mama. Oh. Usually causes varicose veins. I mean, good God, Trump's 81. I mean, if varicose veins are his biggest problem, I don't really want to look at his legs anyway. It's in his legs, not like Joe Biden. Well, okay, that doesn't seem like, it kind of seems like a whole lot of nothing. Again, it seems like it's a whole lot of nothing. I get all my news from doing my show. Oh, all right. Well, a lot of political stuff right off the bat. How was my visit with my nephew? It was great. We were almost too tired to do anything yesterday. I think he's more of a late night guy than me, and he's I don't know, 25, 26 years old. He's going out on dates a lot, and which is appropriate for his age. But it was kind of interesting. He lives in Illinois and will date women from Chicago, and for me, that just seems far and hard. Yeah, because he lives quite a ways from Chicago. And I just couldn't imagine. I was talking to him, I couldn't imagine. He was setting up these dates, first dates with women that were, I don't know, an hour and a half away. You got to really want to go on a date, first date for an hour and a half. I'd really have to have come across somebody special. But to do a first date with somebody that I didn't even know, that I found on, I don't know, some dating site, I couldn't imagine doing it. But we had a great time, and he left, I don't know, like 7 o'clock last night. Curtis Walton says, dating was the new thing about 170 years ago. All right. What happens if I do this? Let's say, for those that know me, I'm trying to ignore the slight imbalance. Wait, that might look a little better. Might, but it might not. I think there's a slight imbalance on my gimbal. My gimbal's bent. You probably can't even tell it, so I shouldn't worry about it. I should stop talking about it. But it's really hard for me to stop talking about something like that. I'm gonna get a little more coffee. Maybe that's what I need. Maybe I'm imagining things about my gimbal. Maybe I'm grumpy this morning. Maybe I'm hot in the sun. Maybe I need a little more coffee. Maybe I want to go sit on my couch, give you a tour of my apartment. Boop, 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 boop. Do you guys put things on top of your fridge? Yesterday I was bringing in some groceries, and I put bananas. I think I got bananas, potatoes, and bread up there. I was wondering, should I put the bread in a cabinet? Would it go moldy sooner or later? Or I think my biggest fear is I'd forget about the stuff. If that stuff was in a cabinet, I might forget about it. So that's probably the biggest reason I use the top of my fridge. I don't want to forget that I've got potatoes or bananas or hot dog buns, because they probably go bad very quickly. We put tools on top of our fridge. Lisa puts bread. Okay, Joshua puts bread. Okay, good. It's not just me. I was wondering if I'm being weird. But I think maybe what I put on the fridge is stuff that I don't want to forget. You know, because if I put bananas in the cabinet, let's say, and then I might forget about them for 3 days and they'd be brown and mushy. Or bread might go moldy, or you could easily forget you had potatoes. It almost seems like a place you keep, things you just don't want to forget you have. Wasn't sure if it looked trashy or not. I mean, obviously, my apartment doesn't look trashy, but it's, I don't know. I'm wondering if, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Fridge will keep what good a long time? Curtis doesn't put anything on top of his. Well, Curtis, do you get bananas? Maybe if I had a fruit bowl, I'd put bananas in a fruit bowl. I mean, I get enough fruit that I could probably have a fruit bowl. Good morning, someone else. We're discussing whether if anybody else puts, how many other people or what we put on the top of our refrigerator. I have bread, a bag of potatoes, and some bananas up there. Bread goes in a bread bin. No, sir, I am 70, but I only eat red meat, fish, and eggs. Okay, and you wouldn't want to keep red meat, fish, and eggs on the top of your fridge. They'd probably go bad. Yeah, no, if you use smoothies, because so many people, I mean, I think smoothies would be a good excuse to go through bananas or old bananas. But so many people go make banana bread. You know, I don't bake. B, how much banana bread can a human really eat? I mean, especially a guy that lives by himself. Joshua says it gets hot on the top. I don't think my fridge does get hot on the top. Yeah, I don't think it does get hot on the top. Somebody told me that it does. I don't think my fridge emanates heat from the top. Yeah. No, this is good content, Travis. I mean, I could dive into Trump or Ukraine or Israel, but that's not what my show's about. Travis might not get my show. My show is about where we store our bananas. Max 2.0 wants to know what type of coffee. It's Starbucks Sumatra. I buy it ground. I do not add cream. I do not add sugar, and I drink it black. I don't know, Joshua. I don't want to keep talking about it. I'm telling you, the top of my fridge isn't hot. Somebody adds honey to their coffee. I bet that would be nice. How come they don't sell honey-flavored coffee? I've never seen it. I am in Wisconsin. Yeah, I'm in Wisconsin. Well, thank you, Joshua. You as well. Well, thank you, Max 2.0. He gave me a quality. He believes he's happy with my coffee selection. Mako says the top of your fridge gets dusty. Maybe that's why I leave the stuff up there, so it's always moving around. So dust cannot gather in great amounts. Undersky just added honey to their coffee. Greetings from South Africa. How are you today down in South Africa? Is it snowing in South Africa? One of my other nephews was just in South Africa on a trip. Might have been, I think his dad was born Jewish and might have been like a Jewish excursion to South Africa, I think was the reason he went. Is it cold in South Africa right now? I imagine it is. Chris is talking about putting bread in the fridge. If you put bread in the fridge, doesn't it dry out real quickly? Any tips on brewing dark coffee? No. I just put it in my Mr. Coffee and push the button. I thought when you put bread in the fridge, it dries out quickly. That's why I don't put my bread in the fridge. Yeah. Let's see. Someone said to add honey, turmeric, and black pepper to coffee for antioxidants. I don't know about adding black pepper to my coffee. We've had snow in place in South Africa, but it's not the norm. Okay. Because like on the southern tip of South Africa, but granted on the southern tip, because you're surrounded by ocean, and ocean tends to keep it doesn't, I guess it doesn't keep the North Pole more temperate or the South Pole. But I think it kind of regulates temperature a little bit. But I mean, you're pretty far south. I like how far, if you flipped South Africa to the Northern Hemisphere and put it in the United States, as far as like whatever, longitude or latitude, I can never get those straight. Where would it land in the United States? Like how, this won't make a lot of sense. How far south, you know, if you flipped it on the equator and put it in the north, where would it land? What latitude, longitude, whatever line is it at? Like I would bet it might be up in Canada or something. Wisconsin? Curtis Walton, I don't think it would really land in Wisconsin. It might. It might. About the same as Sydney. No. So like mid-north Cali, okay. Is that true? Well, Natalie, Davey, you understand what I mean. Is it, which lines are latitude and which lines are longitude? I never get them right. But the further north or south you go from the equator, the longer your days are and the cooler it gets in your winter months. So say South Africa is 30 degrees south of the equator, and I'm making that up. 30 degrees north of the equator might be like Texas in the United States. But maybe South Africa is 50 degrees south of the equator, and 50 degrees north of the equator might be the Canadian border. And again, I'm making up the numbers. Cape Point is 34, hold on, degrees south. Okay, Loopy Lucy. So what's 34 degrees north in the US? Equal to Florida? Oh, well, I guess that makes sense. Because the equator in Africa runs through, like, I don't know, maybe southern Egypt, I'd guess. So the equator, being that it runs through Africa, and the equator over here on this side of the earth runs through Ecuador, I'm gonna guess, and maybe Brazil and stuff, which is in the southern hemisphere. So yeah, it starts way south. So that would make some sense. Okay, so you're saying Los Angeles, which is in the very southern part of the United States, or one of the southern parts of the United States. So that makes sense. Okay, that's why you don't get much snow there. Okay, Pretoria, South Africa, though more inland. So you'd have more variation of your temperature, I guess. Is Pretoria a pretty city? How big of a town is Pretoria? Sounds like it should be a pretty city. Kind of sounds like a Roman named city. I don't think Rome got into South Africa, though. You're not far from Johannesburg. Under Sky is happy their coffee cooled down enough for you to enjoy it. Well, I like it really hot. I like it really hot. Pretoria is probably as big as Beloit, Wisconsin. I doubt that. I would guess Pretoria is larger, because I think I've heard of it. Haven't I heard of Pretoria? Maybe I haven't. Maybe it's just some word that was thrown out in some Julius Caesar movie or other. Say latitude and your mouse spreads horizontal. Say longitude and your mouse spreads up and down. Easy way. Okay, so Dan Mechanic, does your mouse spread horizontal when you say latitude? I guess it has longitude. You're right, okay. So latitude means it's, the equator is 0 degrees latitude. Is that what you're saying? I believe that's what we're saying. The equator would be the mark of latitude at 0 degrees. Okay, all right. Maybe I'll remember that. And what is it, the prime meridian? Is that what it's called? And that goes through like Western Africa. Do I recommend investing in a really good sofa? No, I don't. I think furniture, the variation in prices in furniture is so crazy. You can buy a couch for $700 or you can buy a couch for $7,000. And I don't think the construction of the couch is that dramatically different at all. Plus, if it's a cloth or couch, I think the biggest hazard to it would be stains and getting dirty. So no, I don't think I'd spend a ton on a couch. Chip, oh Chip, you haven't, hey Chip, before you want to disagree, go see Die Hard. Would Abe and I double date at the Mile of Music Festival? Well, I don't have a date. Abe is a good-looking young man, could probably find a date, and is probably more pursuing the fairer sex than I. So would we double date? I mean, I don't know. He's my nephew. I've never double dated with Abe before. How long have I been bald? Under Sky, yeah, let's not talk too much about Die Hard movie. I don't want to take Chip out of the conversation. Chip's never seen the Die Hard or Terminator or most movies. He usually says he's too busy. Again, sitting on his couch, his fancy schmancy couch. Would I rather get the Epstein list or JFK files? I don't overly care about either. X, why do you think about such things? Are you a real person, X? You know, I appreciate you became a member to my page, but I'm wondering, you often ask like heavy-hitting questions. I think I had to stop you the other morning because I was just getting my intro and you were asking me, should Roe v. Wade be appealed or repealed or whatever? I'm going, man, I haven't even had a sip of coffee and you're asking about Roe v. Wade. I mean, because it gives good topics for my show and they become good edits or good shorts and reels and TikToks. But I don't know. Sometimes I think what's neat in life is deciding where we put our bananas. Or watching Die Hard, or, you know, a heavy question is how much money should we spend on a couch? But you always come so big with, you know, Roe v. Wade or Epstein files questions or things, and it sometimes feels exhausting. No, you don't have to be sorry, but you know what I mean. I think the other day I was just getting started and you were asking if Roe v. Wade should be repealed. And I'm going, wow, you know, I don't know. It's 5:45 in the morning. Let me get warmed up. Have I ever ridden a horse? Yes. I'm certainly not a good horse rider. Is that what it's called? Would you say I'm not a good equestrian? I'm not good at riding horses? But what do you call the person that rides the horse? A horse rider? A cowboy? A cowgirl? A rodeo star? Was the top jockey at Arlington back in the day? I was certainly not the top jockey at Arlington, but the top jockey in my mind, that's not named Willie Shoemaker, was always Pat Day. I think it was Pat Day was his name. I don't know if he rode at Arlington or around the world, but he used to win a lot of races, I thought. Yeah, Pat Day. Yeah, he used to win a lot of races. How the Lord is the Spirit. Well, somebody's given me too long of biblical verses. I mean, it's not that I object to you giving long biblical verses, but I just can't read it all. Horseman. Okay, Loopy Lucy says horseman. I'm not a good horseman. I've never heard the word horseman, but I like it. Yeah, someone else. Just think, it used to be only the case where only rich people had cars and everyone else rode horses. Now everyone has cars and only the rich have horses. Yeah, I mean, horses are beautiful animals. Horses are beautiful animals for sure. They almost scare me a little bit. They're so strong and big. Yeah. Yeah, Lisa, they do. My buddy's wife owns a horse, and he often jokes about how expensive it is. And a different buddy's ex-wife owns a horse, and also jokes about how expensive it was. They will probably stop thoroughbred racing in our lifetime. It seems that way. It seems that way. Is there a bigger move to stop thoroughbred racing than like rodeos? Yeah. A lot of talk of horses. Well, Max 2.0, Lisa Smith hopes that I don't remember what you're hoping not, Lisa, the rodeo or the thoroughbred racing? What a glorious science and a fun conversation we're having. We've gone from what do we keep on our fridge to thoroughbred racing. Do we want to talk about The Chosen some more? Do we want to talk about how much dang sleep I need? I don't know if this is age or diet or what. I mean, I think my diet's fine, or my work. But I wasn't high functioning yesterday. My dream yesterday, having my nephew here, was having him want to take a nap. I fell asleep in the bathtub. 56, almost 57-year-old man living in Appleton, Wisconsin, dies a horrific death drowning in his own bathtub in 6 inches of water. How much sleep do I need? I don't know, maybe more. I mean, I used to think I could function pretty well on little sleep, and I do work a lot, and I do move around a lot. But my fantasy, what I really want to do is have a quiet night at home, watch an episode or two of The Chosen, and get a good night's sleep. That's like a perfect night for me. You know, that's like a perfect night for me. Big Kimmy suggests I get a rubber ducky for mental enrichment in my bathtub. Well, thank you. Well, you say I look well for 57. I'm not yet 57. It's going to be a huge bash on my birthday. It's going to be awesome. What did we do yesterday? Not a heck of a lot. What did we do? Went out for breakfast, walked around, took a nice walk. But not a whole heck of a lot. Took a nap in the afternoon. He left at about 7. I talked about going to a movie. He didn't seem overly interested. I talked about a concert in downtown Appleton. He was supposed to go on a date with a woman in Chicago, and he ended up canceling. I felt a little bad for the woman in Chicago. But I also felt bad for him that he was going to drive 3.5 hours to go on a date. Seemed crazy. Seemed crazy to me. Big Kimmy says those Casanovas cancel all the time. Is it just men that cancel, or do women cancel as often? I mean, who cancels dates more, women or men? I just don't know if I want to date again. Seems like a lot of work. Undersky says he goes hairless to avoid the gray, it seems. No, I don't go hairless to avoid the gray. That's crazy, Undersky. That's silly talk. I go hairless to avoid thin, bald head. Did I used to be a blue man? No. Natalie says she wouldn't even know what to do if she had to date again. Yeah, it just seems so... Which is weird because, I don't know. I assumed it was my lack of wanting to date was just trauma from being twice divorced. But maybe it's just contentment or age or senility. Do I get money from streaming? A little bit. A little bit. I posted a picture of my nephew and I out on the other night on Facebook. Facebook even pays me a little bit. I think I could almost figure a way, if I really looked into it, figure a way to post a few pictures a day on Facebook. I don't even know why or how they pay me, but they do. Made like $2 on a picture I posted on Facebook the other day. It wasn't like a hugely successful, it might have gotten 30 or 40 likes, but that paid me $2. Good Friday morning from Ottawa, Illinois. Hope you have a blessed day, Randy. My voice is deep, very deep. Paul does not date, he just goes to Thailand instead. Do I get noticed out in real life at the shops? No, I mean, occasionally somebody will see me and say, hey, I've seen you on social media. How much do I make a month from social media exactly? Well, Travis Cloud, and if you need to exactly know what I make from social media, you know, if you're going to add the word exactly, maybe I don't want to tell you. But now you say ballpark it. See, that sounds friendly, but when you say exactly, I don't feel it's a friendly question. So you've lost my trust at this point, Travis Cloud. What else do I do besides live stream? I work really hard. Right, Max 2.0? When somebody asks exactly, I feel I'm going to be fact checked. And if I'm off by $3 and they somehow find, or if I change my answer tomorrow, they'll say I'm lying. It's so weird. Yeah. Let's see. Let us see. Are we allowed to know what you do for a living? Are you allowed to know what I do for a living? You mean, do I tell you? I mean, are you allowed to know? Certain people know what I do. That's a strange way to ask that question. Are we allowed to know what I do for a living? Well, you're certainly allowed to know. Doesn't mean I'm going to tell you. Yeah. Well, it's okay. I just thought the way you asked that question. How many states have I visited? I would guess almost 40. Somewhere probably upper 30s. Yeah. Fred, I'm a mega successful content creator that has a couple side jobs that he works really hard at. That's what I do for a living. My least favorite state. That's going to be a tough one for me. And it's going to be, you guys might not understand it. And you won't believe it, and I found Wyoming very unpleasant. I'm not talking in Yellowstone. I know there's beautiful areas of Wyoming. But last year I rode my scooter across the country. And when I left Nebraska, I got into Wyoming. And I thought it was so desolate. Most of the state is empty and ugly. And I found it yucky. So I'm sure there's beautiful mountain resorts. I know there is. I lived in Yellowstone in Wyoming. So there's a beautiful section. But I found Wyoming barren and ugly, most of it. You know, and I'm not trying to be mean at all, but I remember feeling really lonely, afraid, cold, riding through Wyoming. Teeter says it's beautiful here. You're in the Montana part of Yellowstone. I lived right there. I lived in Mammoth Hot Springs, Teeter. And what is the name of the town? Red something that the Beartooth Pass leads to. It was beautiful. Yeah, it was beautiful. Not a lot of forest in Wyoming. No, not a lot of green at all. Max 2.0 has been to Montana. I thought Montana was pretty cool. Again, I think it's a little drier than I would like. I like green. Yeah, Red Lodge is the name of the town. Thank you. That was neat. I thought Bozeman, Montana was a really neat town. Yeah. And if it wasn't so far away from Chicago, I actually looked into getting a job there and thought about moving there. I thought Yellowstone was kind of a lonely experience, and interviewed in Bozeman for a waiter job. But I think finding housing that's reasonably affordable would have been tough. Do I like Lake Tahoe? Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Really is. Super expensive to live in Bozeman. Sure is. It sure is. Yeah, I mean, I think the cost, I think anywhere in the mountains has gotten so darn expensive. I lived right next to Gardner, Montana, and when I was in Mammoth Hot Springs, and I'd go down there, and part of me dreamed to simplify and get a small little house in Gardner, Montana, and live in the mountains. I don't know. I mean, you go to the mountains, you start dreaming of living there. I don't think it's necessarily all that it's cracked up to be. But yeah, it's so expensive there. I always wanted to visit San Francisco because of Full House watching as a kid. But the city's not so nice. Is San Fran nice? Does anyone know? Is anyone from San Fran or been there? I know there's probably yucky areas, but it was a real pretty town. It was a real pretty town when I went 20 some years ago. I assume there's still nice, really nice areas of San Francisco. Laughing at Chip. Should I get a little more coffee? Do we want to keep talking? My bald head is shining. Dan Mechanic, who I believe is from New York, says San Francisco has a nice facade, but a leery undertown. What a glorious audience do we have today. It's Friday morning. I was totally confused before I went live yesterday. Again, I had my nephew over and I felt it was a Saturday morning. So I wrote Saturday morning coffee with Ken. My bald head is like a cricket playground. I don't even know what that means. I mean, I've seen cricket played. I have no idea the rules. And I don't know how my bald head could be a cricket playground. I just don't understand what that means. How could it be a cricket playground? Am I dating anyone lately? No. No, I'm not. All right, let's get a little more coffee. Maybe get out of the sun for a little bit. Kind of warm. It's kind of hard to read the writing. Voodoo. Maybe I should get some nice fresh water. We'll put you guys in the shade. Somebody says he thinks he was being rude. I don't know who he is. I don't know if you're saying I was being rude or a question was rude. All right, how am I going to do this? Going to hold my gimbal like that. Going to put my ice water under my arm. Grab my coffee cup this way. And we're going to move over here where I'm going to relax in the shade. I don't want anybody ever telling me that my head looks like a cricket playground again. That hurt. That was very oh wait, I'm still in the sun over there. We got to bring you guys in. Oh, there we go. The cricket head guy. I need a lover. I'm not sure that I do need a lover, Chris. Do I meet many ladies? I meet plenty of ladies. I haven't dated any in a long time. I am relaxing in the shade. And do I like tennis? I don't like playing. I'm not good at it. I don't know how to play, really. I'm not good. No worries if you're the cricket head guy. Oh, but anyway, it's Friday morning. It's a sunny day. I get to go to work today. Is life more tranquil being single? Absolutely. My biggest challenge right now is missing my little ones. But I don't have any real desire or need, or, I mean, I think if the time is right, it'll happen, but I don't need to have a woman in my life at all right now, really. Yeah. Uh, yeah. You know, it'd have to be a really cool lady. Uh, it would have to be a really cool lady. And she'd have to think I'm really cool too, because just, you know, even having my nephew here, we get along great, but it it's a very different dynamic. It's nice when you're going to do something, but there's a piece to kind of being alone and going, well, I'm going to do this right now, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm going to put my bread on the fridge, or I'm not going to put my bread on the fridge. Yeah. I look rich. Well, thank you, I guess. Greetings from Russia. Why did I block you on Grindr last night? Well, you were being so aggressive. You were being so aggressive. I told you to be gentle with me, but you weren't. Let's see. Being alone could be dangerous if you have mental issues. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think whether you're alone or not, having mental health issues can be kind of dangerous. I think it's hard if you have a lot of anxiety or depression to be in a healthy relationship. I think a lot of people with mental health issues seek relationships so they're not lonely or afraid or what have you. And that's usually a recipe for disaster, would be my guess. Yeah. Let's see. Did you see the Centennial Beach drowning? Yeah. Why do you think Centennial Beach should be closed? Yeah, no, I'd be very sad if Centennial Beach ever closed, because it's a cool place and it makes Naperville awesome. Obviously, somebody died there a week or so ago, which is sad. But I think it's a really cool place. I think it's a really cool place. Paul says he's 18 days sober. Yeah. Well, Big Kimmy, but when was the last time there's been a drowning at Centennial Beach? And what was the cause of this drowning? You want to close the pool and you want to talk about this guy in this murky water and you want it to be closed, but I think that's horrible, your attitude, honestly. Obviously it's a tragedy. There's a pool in Naperville called Centennial Beach. I went there as a little kid. It's a huge former quarry that on one side of the pool is 15 feet deep. And one of my viewers there was a drowning there last week. I don't know when the last time there's been a drowning there, and I'm not trying to take away the tragedy of a loss of life. But I don't know the situation surrounding the drowning. B, I know thousands and thousands and thousands of people that go there every summer and have a great time and leave there with no incidents at all. And because there's one tragedy, to shut a beautiful place, I think is silly. That's my thoughts on that. There's drownings every year on Lake Michigan. Should we not allow swimming? There's shark attacks off Florida. Should we shut down the beaches? There's motorcycle wrecks, car crashes, airplane crashes. There's all sorts of tragedies. To shut everything down because there's a very occasional tragedy would be a very sad world. Sir Adam's been sober for 5 days. He says it feels amazing. Well, way to go, Sir Adam. Way to go. Yeah, it's nice not being hungover. I was out with, again, my nephew a couple days ago, and he had like a shot of whiskey on the rocks or something. I think she made it a double at the end. And I felt a little bad for him because when I woke up yesterday morning, I figured he was probably a little hungover. Yeah. Paul A., where are you from? He said, my local beach had many great white attacks, and never once have they said, let's shut it down. Where are you from, Paul A., that gets many great white attacks? I mean, I've seen Jaws too many times. I'd be pretty scared. I don't want to be bitten by a shark. Perth, Australia. Yeah. Yeah, again, if I had a viewer on a little bit ago wanting to shut up one of the prettiest places in Naperville because there was a tragedy there last week. And that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Somebody that's just said that they don't think Australians are the smartest people on earth. Isn't Massachusetts super small, Chip? You said you're headed there next week. Couldn't you be there in like 15 minutes? I look like I'm a great singer. Can you look like a great singer? Can you look like a great singer? Can you tell how somebody sings by the way they look? I would imagine you cannot. Okay, 4 hours. Who are the smartest people on earth? Who are the smartest people on earth? Cheater, if you enjoy drinking, don't stop. Don't even try to stop. Don't even try to stop if you enjoy drinking. I think most people that try and stop don't want to stop, so they fail. I support Palestine? I don't know what that means. I really don't. But anyway, it's Friday morning. Hello, Taz. I might be winding it up, Taz. A pretty flower over there. Check out that hibiscus. They really are beautiful flowers. It's an interesting plant, and I don't think they're ideal for indoors. I mean, they do real well indoors, but they drop a lot of leaves, unlike the other plants I have in here. But they really bloom beautiful flowers. Like every day, there's new flowers, and they only last like a day, and then they drop them. So there's a lot to pick up on the floor, but I don't know. I think with the extra maintenance, maybe a greater appreciation happens. It says sharks biting ants. I don't know what that means. But anyway, it's Friday morning. I'm feeling good. It's 7:42 a.m. I'm excited about my day. Richard L. says, people who say they support something need to donate a good sum of money or volunteer a number of hours instead of just saying they support it. Yeah, well, I just don't understand what it would mean. Do I support Palestine? That's like saying, do I support Canada? To me. I mean, without more information. Do I support Canada? I don't know. Let's see. Hamas and Palestine don't want to accept our lifestyle and want it gone. What are you supporting? Why not support Yemeni people being targeted? Bandwagon boys love jumping on one group and things. Stephen, are you Jewish or from Israel? Is that why you have those feelings? You're from Britain, okay. I don't know, I was just wondering. Yeah, I'm not a supporter of, I mean, the problem is, I think if you say you support a certain, like if I said I support Ukraine, it almost feels like I'm anti-Russian. Or if I support Palestine, I'm anti-Israel. If I support Israel, I'm anti-Palestine. And I just don't understand why I would make a choice on people. Yeah. But I'm hoping we can all just get along a little better. But we'll see. But anyway, again, it's Friday morning, and I want to thank you so much for joining today. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope you are feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.